Yeah. Got it.
Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Nice. Summer
Right.
here in Denmark. And sorry that English is not my native language. I'm Danish, so bear with me, okay?
And you both.
Glad to have you guys on. Glad. Yvonne, please start it off.
All right, cool. So I'm Ivan with Worldwide FX, and today we are here on usually we do these Zoom sessions to get information about prop firms, because we all in the same type of business of trading, and we use the prop firm model. But today we have a different show. There's a company that came on the scene about a month ago that was called Traders Prop, with traders based out of India, and they were quote unquote had a company set up in Dubai. So we have Ken here today and Edward to sort of go through your experience with the company, because I know we did an interview with them trying to understand what they were trying to introduce to the market. They had a lot of promising ideas, and I've been monitoring the development for the past 3 weeks, and it looks like they either folded or they just took the money and ran away. So Ken, can you just tell us how did you firstly introduce yourself, and then how did you get with Traders Prop?
Yeah. First, my name is Kenneth. I'm from Denmark, and I've been trading for some years now, on off. And I was in a Telegram group. It was actually in your group, and I think I saw the Traders Prop, and I found it very interesting, and I was curious of what was going on, and like everybody else, I saw the rules and the stuff, and it was actually something that I found very interesting. The price was okay as well. So I thought, what the fuck? I could take a challenge. I could afford to lose if it turned out to be some kind of a scam. But so I knew the risk before I entered, actually, because there haven't been any payout at the moment, and it was brand new. And anyways, I know every new business has some bumps on the road to start with, and I also knew that they will have it as well, even if they were legit. So I took the chance, actually, and I took the risk, and I took a challenge. And actually, the first alert that came up was when I paid for the challenge, because I paid through PayPal. And when I paid through PayPal, when the transaction was done, the name wasn't Traders Prop. It was an ordinary name, actually. And I thought that was kind of sketchy. And I thought, okay, maybe it's because they're new and they wasn't developed yet. But
I believe that was one of the first red flags.
That was the first.
Yes.
Yeah, it was definitely. Yeah, and then I think it was after 7 days or something like that, I was done with the phase 1, and I waited 3 days to get my phase 2, the verification, I think it's called. It didn't take so long, actually. Then I got the phase 2, and I was done with phase 2 after 1 or 2 weeks, 2 weeks, I think.
Okay.
And I checked them and asked for a review of my account, and already at this time there were some sketchy things going on. And actually, I was one of the lucky person who got a free refund they posted on the Telegram group. So actually, I got my money back from my challenge. But I wrote them several emails, and they didn't reply. And I actually told them it is not the way to deal with the customers or the clients if they are trying to develop a new company, because they need to be a lot more transparent in the way they do stuff if they were a legit company. And if they had some technical issues whatsoever, then go out and tell the crowd what they are dealing with instead of hiding behind the door. But I think I wrote them, I don't know, 10, 15 emails. I got some response actually. One time they wrote back to me, I had to be patient because it was the funded account and blah, blah, blah. But I know it doesn't take longer to establish a funded account than an ordinary account actually. So yeah, at this time, I actually knew that the card has been played and they probably were running away with the money instead. But yeah, that's it. But if I also had in mind, if there really were scammers, there was definitely not a very professional way to do it, because I don't want to give them the cards, but instead of collecting money for 1 month or 2 months or whatsoever, it would have been better for them just to give me an account and name it a funded account, in the belief that I think it's a real account and I can go out and tell the world everything is okay, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't do that. They just were digging a bigger and bigger hole. And there was a lot of noise on the Telegram group, and it was shut down. And kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so I think that, what you mentioned about the PayPal was the first red flag.
Yeah.
And then when we talked to them, they had this this model that I didn't think that it was going to be sustainable. They had a model that they were going to pay for a challenge for the trader, right? They were going to pay for the challenge for the trader. But they didn't have any agreement with the actual prop firm they were going to work with. And that's something that I told them, you can't, do you have an agreement with FTMO? Do you have an agreement with my Forex fund? I even told them, do you need, help with an introduction? After we got off the call, I contacted my Forex fund. I was like, hey, there's these guys we just talked to. They say they're doing, this model. Do you have any agreement with them? Have you heard from them? They didn't recognize the name. So that was the very, and then later on, they announced that they were going to actually not, pursue that model. And I was like, oh, okay, that model is gone. But another thing, I think we asked for the contract.
Right.
This was in the wake of TPT, contract saga, contract being, very different from, the challenge itself. And there was outrage in the community where, people were saying hey, you're giving us other rules that they're not there. So we were like, okay, if you have a contract, can you please send that to us? When they had the first few traders that were funded, I was like, hey guy, I know a few of them, hey, did you get a contract? They say, oh no, they gave me an account, but no contract. I was like, no contract. So I think Ed and I kept following up, did you get a contract with these guys? No.
Right.
But Ed, can you please tell us what your experience has been and what your thoughts of what happened with these guys?
Yeah, so starting from the beginning, I was in contact with Mohammed, before I decided to bring this prop firm into the eyes of the trading community. And myself and Mohammed, we had a very long, extensive conversation about the firm, learning a little bit about who they are. Once we went through the introductory chatter, then I decided to go ahead and tell, other rooms about the prop firm. I asked to do an interview with him so we could learn more about the company, how they started, where they're from, who's funding the firm, a lot of the stuff that traders want to know, and he agreed to do so. I think for me, it was really hard in the beginning to really understand the red flags, because a lot of new prop firms, including, some of the industry leaders right now in the very beginning, prop firms have a lot of issues in the beginning, bad customer service, or, something is wrong with the funding model, or contract changes. Some of the firms that we know today that actually be considered the leaders in the industry, had a lot of issues as well. So I didn't really think that, there were red flags. I just thought it was considered it growing pains. But one of the things that started to stick out to me was after we did the interview, but during the interview, when we asked them about their liquidity provider, they couldn't provide that information. Then, after the interview, I kept asking Muhammad for the contract, and that kept stalling for weeks at a time. After asking Muhammad for the contract, eventually throughout the next couple of weeks, traders got funded. And, just like Yvonne said, we never received the contract, and neither did the traders. So that was a red flag. Then speaking to some of my friends in India, they had informed me that, I don't understand how Traders Prop can open up a firm in India when Forex trading is not allowed in India. So then that started to become a red flag. But then they made business moves in order to move the firm from India to Dubai. So I said, okay, to me, it was like, okay, these guys are going through some learning pains, some growing pains. They're still, new, they're young, they're figuring it out along the way. So it looked like they were making the necessary moves in order to make themselves legitimate. And then as time went on, still no contract. And then the conversations between me and Muhammad, through the back channels became far and few. So that was extremely disappointing. I myself personally, like many of you guys that's going to be watching this video right now, I was also scammed. I purchased 3 $200,000 accounts. So I started off the back and maxed out on their account utilage. One of the things that was concerning also as well as their affiliate program. I had a lot of my personal friends, a lot of my colleagues signing up for Traders Prop, utilizing my affiliate link. And they weren't showing up on my affiliate link at all. I kept reaching out to Muhammad. He said, he didn't notice it. He would look into it. And then eventually he started to disappear. After a while, more red flags was once people started to do more digging and more research on this firm. One of the major things that I was asking for from Muhammad was making sure that we can get the registration number, where you guys registered at. And, we also want you guys to know when you're watching this video, ways to be able to know whether or not a prop firm is legitimate. So I'm going to definitely go into that as well. So next time moving forward with any new firm that comes out, you will know what things to look for so you won't get scammed in the future, because this was a learning experience for a lot of us to know the difference between a scamming firm and to know the difference between a firm that is new going through growing pains. So we're definitely going to give you that information. So, stay tuned and watch the video in its entirety so I can be able to alert you guys, give you guys the correct information. And even with some of the firms that a lot of you guys are trading with right now, you can be able to go on their website and know what to look for to know that that is a legitimate firm. So, after that, trying to reach out to Muhammad. For me, I had passed phase 1. I received my phase 2 credentials fairly quick, within a couple of days. I know a lot of people were still complaining that they have not received their funded account credentials. They haven't received their phase 2 funded credentials. So that for me was a red flag. But, I just, I assumed it was just incompetency. Some people, they didn't have a systematic way of learning how to do things. Some people were getting their accounts and some people weren't. So, with all of that going on, understanding these guys were changing their IP address. They would have an IP address different than where the business was located. The website registry wasn't correct. The font on the page of the website was, a lot of misspellings or miswords. So those were continuing red flags. I had individuals within the community to start doing some deep dive research into the prop firm that actually lived in Dubai. And, we went to check out the address that was located on their website, and we learned that the address was actually a residential address. And we had that individual stand out there for a few hours, and there was no business dealings going on at the listed address with that website. So we learned that, you know, with that, along with all of the other red flags, we eventually found out that the firm was a scam, especially when they closed down the Telegram group. They left the Telegram group open, but they shut it down when no one else was able to be able to write any messages. Then they came out with the payout list, which was only like 27 people, and majority, probably 80%, 90% of that list were Indians from India. So that raised a huge level of concern. And more importantly, no one on that list was actually in the room, I think, except maybe 2 people, maybe 1 or 2 people. So that was also a big red flag to me. When you guys are looking at prop firms and you guys are watching a lot of YouTube videos, you're watching people like myself, Yvonne, or, VVS or anyone else, always be sure to understand that you have to always be accountable for any business dealings that you do. You never want to take the word, just from us being able to give you guys information. We're just an information tool, to be able to get you guys, close up personal information, but you always want to make sure that you do your due diligence. I've spoken to a lot of people, through the Facebook chat of prop firm groups, through Telegram. I've spoken to individuals all over the world. Like I tell them, and like we're telling you guys, always make sure to do your due diligence. When you're looking for a prop firm to do any business with under any circumstance, every prop firm will always have some type of registration number, whether it's an LEI number, whether it's registered with a business, some type of commercial registry maintained by the municipal court of that particular area, or where the business is structured at. These are the things that you want to look at, and it should be duly noted on the website. They will always have their registry, some type of commercial registry maintained by the municipal court on the website. They will also have their LEI and registry number listed on the website as well. If it's not listed, you can always email support, and they should be able to get you that information immediately. And if you do not see the stuff, and if they cannot give you that information, then 9 times out of 10, they're most likely a scam. All companies need to have an LEI or some form of registration number in order to do business in that country or wherever the structure of that business is located. Okay. So, with that being said, unfortunately, this firm has scammed a lot of people. We want to make sure we do our due diligence with getting this information out to as many people as possible. I'm going to be doing a few more interviews with a few other YouTubers to make sure that we can educate the community as quickly as possible. And we also will be putting at the bottom of this link, if you have been scammed by this firm or any other firms, we are going to list different organizations, worldwide organizations that you can be able to file a report, and we can get that information out to different cyber teams that can possibly look for these companies, look for these individuals, and maybe possibly, no promises, but it maybe even possibly apprehend these criminals and possibly get you a refund. But we will be posting those links and what these different organizations will do in order to make sure that you file a report with international agencies. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, they can't do this and think that they can get away with it. I think somebody needs to do something. But a point that you brought up, I didn't know that they even had an affiliate link. But I think that they give us a 10% discount. They had like a code, like, WWFX, that was giving us, I believe, 10%. And I remember when Ken bought, his challenge was, after, we got the discount code, maybe like a few days later. I reached out to Mohammed and said, like, hey, you know what, can you please apply this code to Ken? He's part of our community, he's part of our group. He said, oh no, once you purchase it, it's already done. And that was like, a few days later, they were like, oh, actually, we're gonna go from 10% to only 5%. And with that, I usually, within the group and within the firm, I'm usually like the guinea pig. Even if I'm not gonna personally trade these accounts, I'll get a few, challenges
Me too.
You know, when
me
I deal
too.
with a new firm. But with this firm, I kept saying like, okay, I need to see if they're going to, you know, to do what they say they're going to do. But, you know, I kept seeing like, you know, things being delayed. I think that, you know, at the beginning, there were like, you know, people saying like, hey, you know, whenever I buy an account, I get it in 15 minutes, I get it in 30 minutes. And I was like, okay, they are delivering on the promise of like, you know, past customer service. But then there were issues, like after issues and after issues. And then there were the, you know, infamous interview with VVS, with the CEO.
Right.
Yeah, that was great.
So, you know, that interview was out of this world. But I mean, we're not trying to make this like a very long video, but I thought we'll share, you know, like their you know, the Telegram, and it's just good. Traders Prop.
Yeah, another funny thing that was actually, it was the last announcement they made on their own Telegram group. The people who has made a claim against them at PayPal that they would be banned on their challenges in the future. It's
more of a scam.
Yeah. So they were like, yeah, the last time they posted anything publicly was on June 8th, which makes it more like, you know, 8 days from now. And before that, there was a 6 days, you know, silence. They had not posted anything in like 6 days.
But the last one on the 8th, that was, it's actually hilarious.
I mean, I texted Ed when I saw this. I was like, is this really like the best they can come up with? Like, you know, out of like everything that is going on, this is what they had to actually say. Bear with us, within 24 hours, everything will be back to normal. And never heard from them since.
Right. As if nothing happened. Right. As if nothing happened.
The website, the email doesn't work, right?
No, the email, the support at Traders Prop doesn't work. But the live chat, it goes to your email. When I emailed that, I didn't get a kickback. But when I
only got that once. I got one kickback, only one time, but I have been written to them several times. But the Dubai thing, actually, I had one in my group. He actually told me, actually, when I bought the challenge, that he also made, he knew some in Dubai, and they also took out to the address, and there was a you know, the same as you said, it was in an own address. It was not an office address or something like that.
Right.
And he did put a red flag on it at this time, actually, and it was in the beginning. So.
You know,
another thing I think we should post was is the chat. You know, I think like somebody created this. It's with like all the, I guess, Traders Prop, you know, customers, you know, coming together and stuff like that.
Right.
And you know, sharing this, and you know, anybody wants to, like, you know, share their story or figure out, you know, like if they can help, you know, figure out anything for the community, I think that will be really helpful. But other than that, I don't think there's really anything else that we can say, we can talk about. You know, unless, you know, just emphasis on everybody doing their due diligence, making sure that you are, you know, like they say, don't trade with money you're not willing to lose. Don't get in business with people you don't know, with money that you know, like, you know, understanding the risk that you know of what you are doing and what you are getting involved in. But it's a very unfortunate situation, and you know, very bad for like the community. And we need to do everything that we can to bring some sort of like, you know, legitimacy and, you know, like, you know, place where people can find the right information. I always tell people, like, you know, trading is really hard. People don't, you know, trading is hard, you know, psychologically, it's very draining. You know, you're looking at charts, you know, if you're a retail trader, you're dealing with, you know, institutions that have billions of dollars that are able to like move markets, you know, the manipulations and all that kind of stuff. And the fact that you can be on the wrong side of the market anytime, any given time. So managing risk is really paramount to everything you do in trading, including engaging with these firms. So that's pretty much it.
That's also that, if I can say something, that's also what ignores me at most. It's not the bucks that I lost on the challenge, but it's the work with the challenge.
The time.
Passes, it's the time, because and also what we were talking about before. Don't get fooled with all those new firms coming up now, because the scammers out there, they know that there is a big business in these challenges, that there is a lot of people out there who wants to join those challenges. So what they do is actually, they know what the people are looking for, very good prices, perfect rules, and so on. So they know that, some people, they will join the challenges at their place if they can save a few bucks compared to other places. Then they make a decent web page, and then they start off, but they will run away with the money, most of them. And let's see in a year or two how many of those firms out there who will actually survive. I don't think there will be so many, actually. So as told you before,
we're not going to use this video to say that, but as soon as we come out, nobody else is going to survive.
Very true.
Maybe.
Very true.
Yeah. So another thing, I wanted to thank you, Ken, for actually coming on and having this discussion with us. It's sad to see that there are a lot of people on Telegram that spend all day, every day talking, doing all these things.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't understand. If you're doing all this talking on Telegram, why don't you just come out? I don't think many people are comfortable being themselves and coming out here and having this type of discussions. I understand, certain people want to their privacy, or they don't want to appear online. Or whatever. But they're on social media every day. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook. They're on Telegram every day, but they're not comfortable coming out and actually speaking the truth.
Right.
And this
helps the
scammers.
Another way. I see it in another way, because some people out there has paid some money for a challenge, and they're more scared of their own money, because if the company was legit, then they are scared of getting kicked out of their challenge or whatsoever, because they have done a lot of trash talk out there. So actually, I think they're more scared for themselves.
I'm talking about after the fact. I'm talking about after the fact, right now.
Right now. Yep.
We were going to actually do this, I think, a couple of days ago, and we kept delaying and saying okay, let's get somebody to come here. Let's get somebody else's perspective. Because we didn't want to make it more of hey, it's Ivan and Ed talking again about the Traders Prop. And I always say this, but I don't do this for myself. I do this on behalf of the community, and I want every voice to be actually heard. And I'm only human. I can say a lot of things, but I have personal biases, right? There's I always say whenever I deal with a firm for example, my Forex Fund, I really like my Forex Fund. I like those guys over there. And I feel, they're not perfect, but I feel closer to them, and it's easier for me to do business with them.
I took a chance there as well.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people don't like TPT, but I've developed a relationship with them. They're not perfect, but it's easier for me to do business with them because I know them. But it doesn't mean that, my Forex Fund and TPT are legit and all these things because I say so. No, they are legit because of the way they run their business, and because of the proof they actually provide. And every single person can watch these videos, but they also have to form their own opinion and do their own research and, weigh the risk and say okay, I'm paying $500, I'm paying $600, and this is the risk that I'm taking. If anything happens, this is what
I diversify my risk as well. I'm not taking only take challenges at one place. I split it out. At the moment, I'm at the MFF as well and the funding talent, and it's because nobody can predict the future. So if MFF goes down, then I have funding talent or whatsoever. So instead of just sticking to one, then I will better go with 3 or 4 that I know that pay out. And if one of them goes down, that's a part of the business. That's it.
Yeah. So another one of the red flags, because we personally are going through the same type of due diligences you do, and forming something similar. But what's kind of like a red flag is the broker they were using, that XNS broker, right? And the way they were, opening, challenges. I've seen, some of the, I've seen, your accounts, obviously. I've seen some of the accounts, and I know how easy, if you are, you have the proper paperwork, how easy it is to establish a relationship with the broker, because the broker really wants your business. And saying that they couldn't get any other broker besides XNS, and then they came back. I think like the second broker they brought on board was Jazz Forex. I don't think he was like a terrible broker, except for like I think Bitcoin. I think like there was like a
no crypto. Yeah, crypto wasn't good for crypto.
Was not like really.
Crypto
I think the
and
spreads
gold
on crypto or the commissions on crypto were like crazy. They were really high.
It depends on if there was 2 different XNS accounts, because the first one, it was ridiculous high spreads, but the last one was actually okay on Bitcoin. But it's easy to get an agreement with the broker. I have an agreement with the broker myself, and it's very easy to do. So
it's very easy to do, and I just didn't understand how they didn't have that, like that relationship, established. Even after amassing, selling a number of challenges, I just don't know how they were doing it. So like you could see that the intention was not to run the business the right way. The intention was to take people challenges, money challenge, money fees, and run away.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So for you guys, man, we just want to get the point across that. Obviously, always utilize extreme caution, but if you want to know if a firm is legit or not, typically you want to go to the company's service terms and conditions, and you should be able to find their registry information, where the company is registered, the location of the registry. A lot of times under terms and conditions, it would have like maybe the laws of corporation formed up under the federal laws of Canada. You will always be able to find the registry information in the terms and conditions. Some depending on like places, like FTMO, they'll have like the commercial registry maintained by the municipal court of like Prague or something like that. So each company will have that listed on their website. And if you don't see that, do not do business with that organization without being able to see those registry information, their LEIs, their registry number, where the business is registered, because any reputable company is going to have that information posted on their website. So
but even if they post a registry number, it's important that you look up this number as well.
You look the number up, yep.
Yeah, because they can put in a random number.
Correct. So all that's to say, guys, do your due diligence. Before you go out there and want to just, get the money, do the proper research. And in this video is to, tell you about the scam with this prop firm, but to also educate you on other prop firms moving forward before you're ready to move forward and purchase a firm. Look on the website's service and terms of conditions and be able to look up that information and then Google that information. Some places may even have a phone number where you can call the registry to double check that information. So, we just want to get this across. Do your research. We're going to post in this video again. I think there's an internet crime unit. Interpol is another international organization that you can use in order to file reports with organizations across the world. We're going to post that on there as well. There's also a internet crime complaint center where you can post internet crimes that has happened anywhere in the world. The FBI has a federal division of internet crimes. We're also going to post that link at the bottom of this video for you guys that have been scammed by Traders Prop or any other firm. The information is really self-explanatory. You just go in there, you put in your information, how much you lost, the name of the firm, what happened and things of that nature. And then, they may contact you, they may not, but I'm closely working with a few of these firms to do my due diligence and trying to apprehend these individuals. And, if things work out, then maybe possibly we can try to get everyone a refund. Obviously, there's no promises with that, but I'm doing my due diligence to make sure that, these guys get caught. So I'm going through the proper channels, talking to the proper law enforcement internationally. And if there are any new updates, we will do an updated video to inform you guys and tell you what you can do if there's anything additional that you need to do outside of the information that we're going to post on this link. If there's any new information, we're going to definitely provide that to you. So, in hopes that you're made whole through this whole debacle.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool. So ending there. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Ken.
No problem.
And everybody, stay safe.
All right. Thank you, guys.